Good?
Yep.
We recording?
Blackbeard Bastards. Reviews by Mason Martyr, motherfucker.
Alright, this is Mason Martyr, and welcome to the Blackbeard Bastard podcast. Today we're going to talk about an album that is about suicide and drug addiction, but somehow does not sound depressing. Not quite sure how they pull that off. For those of you who aren't familiar with Uicideboy, they're these two rappers. They're actually cousins from New Orleans, and they just dropped they've dropped like 50 fucking projects in the past 5 years, but this is technically their debut album, I think. I Want to Die in New Orleans. And a lot of their themes kind of center around depression, drug addiction, suicide. Like, I think these guys are actually or at least they have at some point been drug addicts. I know they talk about pills a lot, even talk about heroin before. And I guess the story is 4 or 5 years ago, one of the cousins was like, let's not work a fucking 9 to 5 because I'm going to feel dead inside anyway. If I can't make it doing what I want to do, let's just kill ourselves by the time we're 30 if we don't achieve that. Which is pretty fucking depressing, but they obviously fucking made it because they got co-signs from Juicy J. I know Bones makes an appearance on the album. They've had, Denzel Curry, other high-profile artists appear on their work. And they've kind of brought this new wave of horrorcore that's kind of been kind of like gaining prominence in the underground with Bones, with Uicideboy, where you have like these kind of chopped and screwed like 3-6 Mafia horrorcore songs and these heavy trap beats with heavy bass, a lot of distortion, and they even employ a lot of kind of vocal experimentation. One of the members, Ruby the Cherry, one of his many weird fucking aliases, he harmonizes so much and does so many unique and kind of haunting melodies, where Scrim, the other member, is more kind of gritty, raw, kind of has like a raspy growl to his voice. Like it's an interesting juxtaposition of sounds. Like it, to the untrained ear, it can sound like there's multiple people rapping on the same song because they're constantly switching up their sound, switching up their delivery. And this album is probably the clearest. What's the word I'm looking for? Like if you think of Uicideboy, this is the purest, this is a representation of everything they can do. They have, a ton of songs where they're singing about suicide, about their drug addiction, but somehow they make it sound upbeat, makes you want to bob your head. They have some shit where they start growling and screaming, makes you want to start moshing. They got some depressing, emotional shit. So the content's, I would say it varies more stylistically than it does substance-wise. Well, I think it's interesting, their story kind of gets a little redundant, a little dark to be rapping about suicide all the time. But that story is interesting, but I think I want to see a little bit more growth as far as their lyrical content goes. But stylistically, they're on a whole nother fucking level. Like, there's barely anyone fucking with them and what they're doing stylistically, pushing the boundaries of what you can do in a rap song. And really, I don't even know if I really have any criticisms. It's not a perfect album, but, there's definitely some songs that stand out more than others, like Phantom Menace, 122 Days, Wartime All the Time. Dear God, that's got to be one of the hardest songs of the year. Holy shit. But yeah, like I said, it's not a perfect album, but it's a very clear representation of what they can do on the mic, what sounds they explore. And it's Definitely one of the better albums in the year. I'd probably give it like a light 8. And I just think it's pretty crazy that album, 50 minutes rapping about suicide, still makes you want to jump around and act a fool. Like, who the fuck does that? And I'm not sure what else to say. This is Mason Martyr. Stay black, stay bearded, stay a bastard.
Question mark? Is that worthy?